some important news as it pertains to the Bumblebee movie toy line. Now we got a lot of solid information from toy distributors in Sri Lanka and South America, which more or less have given us the street dates and the release dates for the plans for the Bumblebee movie and its merchandise. So it's slated for a Halloween release, Wednesday, October 31st. Interesting day to be dropping all of this, considering that the kids will probably be getting ready and be out that evening. So I don't know who they're hoping, because, you know, if you have parents, they're taking the kids out, the kids will be out, and all that's left is collectors to get this stuff. I don't know. It's also interesting to note that it's considering the movie is planned for a December release, this gives like a good month and a half that the product's going to be on the shelf before the movie hits, which I don't know if that's a good idea, personally. I've known a lot of movies that's always been a big mistake, where the product is way too early out there, and then by the time the movie comes out, I know Speed Racer was a very good example of that, and Tron also was another one, where the movie's toys would come out so early that by the time the movie actually was in theaters, the toys were already on liquidation. You know, so it was just like it doesn't bode well for it. So, and then because it goes on liquidation, that first wave doesn't do well, and it doesn't give it a chance for anything else. Point being, though, is we have this early release date for the toys, and we have more or less a basic rundown of what that's going to consist of. So we have a main line itself that they claim is going to be a part of the ongoing studio series stuff. So I don't know what that means exactly, because we've already have a good idea of what the studio series is moving forward for the next, you know, couple of waves, and none of that has really been tied to this Bumblebee movie. So unless there's something we don't know. You know what I mean? But I mean, as it stands thus far, they claim that the main line itself will be part of the ongoing studio series line. We have the Energon Igniters Nitro series, Power Plus, and Speed series. Those are all just, it's going to be gimmicky stuff. It's similar to what we have right now with the Energon, you know, Allspark Cube stuff that's on shelves right now that is expensive and pointless. We have the Titan Changers, which is probably going to be the 3-step oversized transforming stuff. We have the B-Vision Mask, which is stuff we talked about in the past, where it's going to be using some kind of IR technology. We have the Showcase Helmet. That's probably going to be more of a collector item, similar to that of, let's say, the Power Ranger Legacy line, where they have their expensive, overpriced helmet stuff. The Stinger Blaster.
Yeah, but that fits your head.
That fits on top of your head. We have the Stinger Blaster, which, according to an asterisk here, is compatible with the B-Vision Mask. So it's probably going to be also a play gimmick kind of thing. We have the DJ Bumblebee, which I'm pretty sure is going to be something very similar to the Beat Mix Bumblebee that we got during the movie in 2007, which is some kind of MP3 and or music device. And considering that this is Bumblebee in this movie, you know, communicating with a human character, music's going to be involved. You know, there's going to be him dancing and rocking. And considering that there's supposed to be music numbers in this from some lines that I've heard, could be it. And then last we have roleplay masks. And roleplay masks are very different from, let's say, the showcase mask, because roleplay masks are usually a more low-cost facial mask, just one thing with a strap in the back for kids and stuff. And that's been a common piece of merchandising that's been around since, say, the Transformers Prime line started, where they started really putting a lot of that stuff out, and it's been a common piece of Transformers merchandising now. So that's the list right now of what we got going on. They still don't give us a list of the characters, which is really important. And again, we're not too far away from this movie, still no trailer really of who's going to be in it. I mean, there's been all kinds of speculation and stuff, but otherwise, we'll see what happens until then.
I'm super surprised that we're not getting any character drops. Like, the fact that we're getting a list of what they're going to sell and when they're going to sell because of, Hasbro toy distributors in Sri Lanka and South America, but we're still not getting a character list of toys.
Yeah,
that's impressive. I'm going to say that right now. That's impressive. Someone is earning their keep and not
it's
spoiling anything.
it's kind of a good and a bad thing in the sense that, like, we kind of know of, like, there's this jet that could be Starscream, and there's a possibility of Barricade being in the movie. But like, I just did a big, both of us just did a big toy convention not too long ago, a couple
Yeah.
of days ago, and I was talking with one individual who wasn't a Transformer fan, but he's your typical toy collector, pop culture guy, and I made the mention of the Bumblebee movie, and he was like, "There's going to be a Bumblebee movie," and I was like, "See, that's the problem." You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are not aware of this
Yeah.
existing and that this is coming, and there should be some kind of, if there's plans and some kind of hype behind this.
hmm
I
You know
mean,
what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when the Wonder Woman movie was coming out, where it was like a few days before, or no, it was like a month or two before, and there was no hype machine really getting it out there, and
well,
everyone's like,
I
"Where?"
hope it finds the success of Wonder Woman then, because it's
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. Like, so maybe this could be something similar where the hype machine's not behind it, but it still does gangbusters, or like usually there's some kind of like gear up to it. So, like I
well,
said, we're getting toys, we're getting the info
yeah, it
when
looks
it's
like
going to drop, but we're not seeing the ads yet. We're not seeing.
from the merchandising standpoint, it looks like everything's lined up and
Yeah,
good to go.
they're almost good to go. The only
It's
thing
just it's just the advertising itself for the actual movie that seems to be kind of like, what's going on, guys?
the only thing I'm a bit not worried about, the DJ Bumblebee thing. I'm
hmm
hoping that's just like, what, we need to repurpose this stock or whatever, or
I hope it's not that, because that
well,
thing wasn't that special. But
either repurpose the stock or just like, put a new paint thing on this thing that we like are indeed for a bit. I'm hoping that this is not indicative of the actual character, that we actually get a voice for Bumblebee and not just like that.
I don't think he's gonna talk. I'm
Again,
calling it now.
all the time. It's like, oh, he can talk now. Scrap it. Oh,
Since
look,
the first
he can
movie.
talk now. Scrap it. Oh, he can
Yeah,
talk now. End of the show. End of the movie. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm gonna call it now. He's not talking. I feel that's just their.
I don't want that. Like, you finally got
I
a
know.
voice.
I'm really tired of that too. That's something that has not been about the character, and then they just kind of made it that about the character. Like, it's crazy because outside of Transformers Prime, which is pretty much just trying to be the movie verse,
Yeah.
um, Bumblebee's a talking character.
hmm
You know what I mean? That's who he is, and the movies just kind of made that who he is. You know what I mean? It's
It's
in the
it's sad
it's in the
because
same it's in the same way that, like, in a lot of ways I look at Barricade and I'm like, now that Barricade exists, I don't really see, like, Prowl making a big comeback anytime soon.
yeah.
Like, it's just like, no, police car is going to be Barricade. It's not going to be Prowl. So it's just, there's certain things that the movie did that really shook up Transformers in some way that I don't really see it making a return to that form anytime soon. You
Like,
know what I
the
mean?
only thing I kind of see similar with the Bumblebee character in the movies and Bumblebee in the shows in general is that Bumblebee character is always, he ties in with the main character. He's always like the link between the Autobots that are there and the human character. They always
Oh, that's all.
interacting all
That's
the time.
always been the thing. I like in G1, it was him and Hound, at least in the first episodes, anyhow.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then
we are your ambassadors. Here we go.
yeah,
you
there's
know?
well, that's just, there's always that character that does well with the human character and makes the connection with it, and oddly more than enough, it's always the kid friendly one. Like, I mean, we could just go through the list here. It was Bumblebee in the original, then it was Wheelie going into season 3, and still was Wheelie with Headmasters. And then when you go into Master Force, you could kind of go, well, the kids were the kids, because they were the Headmaster Juniors.
Yeah.
So the Transformer representatives were Transformers in a sense, with the kids. You go into the Victory, you had Holly. You go into Zone, you got Moonraider
Yeah.
and Rabbit Crater, I guess, were the two, that kind of worked with the kids and stuff, even though it was just a one-episode OVA. When you go into even Beast Wars, even though there was no kid character, when you did have Una and the the proto-humans, if you will, the Neanderthals,
Yeah.
Cheetor was kind of linked with them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Who was the kid character and the flag bearer for that thing. And then you could keep going on and on and on. I mean, you could even say maybe Nightscream, had that role in a small sense in Beast Machines, and you go to Hotshot with Armada, and then you go. Sorry, I skipped Car Robots. Car Robots, there wasn't really one singular one. I
Yeah.
found that Koji kind of was just buddies with everybody. I think the most person he interacted with was Aichan, you
Yeah,
know.
pretty much.
So who wasn't a Transformer. There really wasn't one like that. I think Car Robots was the one that really didn't have that. But then again, Hotshot and Armada and Roadbuster, aka Ironhide, in Energon / Superlink. I mean, it just keeps going and going. And then you have same thing with Cybertron / Galaxy Force. It was the Minicon trio. Was with the kids there, and then you go. We keep going and going, but the point is, it's like
the point I was trying to make was Prime animated, like Bumblebee is still interacting with the kid, and like either the youngest kid there or the kid,
Yeah.
So like that was trying to like at least that's consistent, but like whether he speaks or not is like, oh boy, like it's only been 2 out of the 3 where he actually speaks, if I'm counting that right.
Just
like G1, animated, and then Prime.
Generation 1, he talks. Transformers, animated, he talks.
Yeah.
In Prime, he talks at the end of it. You know what I mean? And the same thing in the movie verse. They give him chances to talk, and then they kind of just step over that.
Because I'm assuming,
and then the new RID series, RID 2.0, he's a 100% talking. Yeah, he's a leader and he's a talking character.
And then also Cyberverse, he's
going to be talking. I'm assuming.
He's the main character.
Yeah. So it's. I mean,
that would be expensive, getting all those rights for those songs.
I don't know. We'll see what happens for sure.